Hello and welcome to yet another Cards and Cardboard digital review. This time we're actually looking at a digital-only game. This is SolForge, a game on Steam and Android and iOS that is available. It is a collectible card game designed by Richard Garfield and with association from Stoneblade Games, the guys who brought us, Ascension, which I reviewed in a previous time. So what we're going to do here is kind of take you into a game and show you what it plays like and then show you the rest of the interface. So right now you got to be kind of logged in order to play the game and get all your cards linked up with your account, but right now we're going to do a create game and kind of create the situation here. Now I've got a number of starter decks that you can purchase or come with the game. These are definitely a great thing to have. However, you're free to not actually purchase these and actually kind of play them yourself. So right now we're going to go against a random computer, set its difficulty to easy just so it's a little easier to deal with stuff, and we're going to go ahead and give them a interesting little faction to start with. So we're going to go right into a game. Now SolForge, you have a deck of 30 cards, which you'll always have 5 of in the first turn. Let me go ahead and put on some sound here. Oh, I cannot do that from this menu. I'm sorry, folks. So just bear with me. There's no sound because I turned that stuff off. Now, I've got 25 cards left in my deck. Here's all the cards that I have left in there and how many of them I have. And then I have a number of cards that I've drawn on my turn. First player can only play one card in the field at a time. Now, this is a head-to-head game where you're trying to get your opponent's life total down to 0 before they get you down to 0. And the way you do that is you kind of just play out cards and hope for the best. Each card needs to be assigned to a lane, and if the lane is clear, they will attack it in time. Usually, though, they got to worry about this whole summoning sickness. That's what that ring represents. During your turn, you will commence one battle, and then you can play other cards, and then you will end your turn. Now, every time you use a card, you will actually get all those cards returned to your deck. But when you play a card, you will actually get a leveled up version of the card in your deck. Now, as cards progress up levels, usually up to level 3, they usually get stronger and have more interesting abilities. At this time, there's a huge selection of cards to kind of go through. And there's usually only 2 types of cards. You've got these spell cards, and then you have creature cards. So this one lets me replace a creature with a weak little sapling, which is always excellent, so let's go ahead and do that. And then I'm going to play this Ether Hounds, which allows me to not play just 1, but 2 copies into the field. Now, I've got creatures that are ready to attack, he does not. So my Voltaren Rex and my Thunderstar are going to go ahead and make their attacks this turn. So, kabam! They deal their damage. This guy has Breakthrough, which for Magic the Gathering nerds, you understand that means that any excess damage goes right to my opponent's life points. And since I'm done playing cards, I will end my turn. So now, I just kind of wait for my opponent to populate his lanes. And boom. So you'll notice that there's a few little icons other than that popping up. For instance, I've got this glider ability here, which basically means that, hey, mobility. That means that they can move a number of spaces equal to their movement value, as long as the area is clear. So I'm going to go ahead and play down some little guys here. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and let my guys battle first. That way I can play down yet another card. Boom, see? Now I've got a lane advantage over my opponent, and his life is already starting to diminish. Not to mention my creatures will have to attack next turn. And this includes on his turn as well. Every time you battle, you actually are doing 2 battles every turn. So we're going to play some more enchantments here. 2 creatures I control get extra attack and strength. So boom and boom. These guys are getting a little extra damage this turn. I kind of want to keep this guy alive. I'm not sure if an Enrage will actually help. Yes, it will. I can also do a Fearsome Roar, which will give each creature I control +2/+2, which is a bit more beneficial to me, so I will do that. Boom. So now I'm doing a whole 18 points of damage to him, and I'm still got the lane advantage here. Alright, so now I've ranked up. Every 4 turns you will actually rank up, and you will actually start seeing these level 2 cards populate your deck now. No longer will they be level 1 cards, which is great. So when I play Twin Strength again, I actually get a more powerful version of it. So bam and bam, these guys just got 4/4, which is amazing. And I'm going to go ahead and try to defend myself here by placing that there. So this guy has an attack value of 5 and a defense value of 3 for his health. Health is lingering, so once things have taken damage, they will persist having damage. However, this guy also has armor. Armor means that that's the number of damage they subtract from their damage when they receive it. So unfortunately I'm going to be taking 5 damage, but I just dealt 26 to him. And if he doesn't answer these 2 creatures soon, he's going to be SOL. So we'll see where I'm going to end up here. Okay, he's got 11 points left. I win no matter what I do. Boom. So there you go. That's kind of how you play. Now, unfortunately, we didn't get to see some of the level 3 cards. That is a bit unfortunate, but hey, there's a lot of ways that you can see those later on. And honestly, the starter decks aren't too terrible. And whenever you complete little things, you'll get daily rewards like that. Usually by beating opponents. I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the sound effects and music here. So there you go. You can kind of hear it now, maybe. Alright, so not only do you have access to that, but you have access to the store, which allows you to actually buy more cards using real-world currency. Now, one of the fun things that they keep doing is they keep adding things like event tickets and booster packs and deck slots that you can buy with the in-game money that you earn called silver. You can also buy things with sun or gold currencies by actually using real-world money to purchase that. For a while there, they actually had cards that had alternate artwork on them as well, which unfortunately there's none here, but I can go ahead and go into my collection and show you later. It was kind of one of their interesting little Kickstarter promos that they did, as well as it's a unique way of getting more interesting cards in your deck so that way you don't see the same thing all over again, kind of like Magic the Gathering. There's a campaign mode right now which allows you to play and learn each of the different factions a little bit and increase your skills in the game. At this time, you can also participate in tournaments, which you need battle tickets in order to join. Each one of them has a prize depending on how often you win or how well you are. They come in constructed, expert draft, and normal draft. Both of the draft modes are interesting in the fact that one will allow you to keep cards that you earn, and the other one will allow you just to kind of play with the cards that you have in that deck and then earn booster packs later on. So you're actually kind of giving up cards. Now, the best meat and potatoes of the game is the collection here. Now, unfortunately, it's kind of hard to see the collection like this, so I'm going to go ahead and put up some cards here. Now, you can sort these up by a number of filters up here, as well as advanced search options and looking it up by name. So, for instance, I'm going to look for anything with just dragon in it and search my library for any dragon cards I have. Now, it takes a little bit to load, and this is pretty much a lot worse on the tablet. There's no getting around that with the tablet. It's going to be slow, it's going to be hard to build decks, because what you're basically going to do is you're going to pretty much load a new deck design or start a new one, save the name, and start throwing cards in it. Now, thankfully, there's no really any build limits that you got to apply to, but you kind of have a lot of options for the different sets that have come out here. There's a number of sets out already that you can continuously get like daily booster packs that'll help you build up your commons and such, as well as if you play at least 3 or 4 games a day, you'll get more booster packs and more silver to buy more booster packs. So there's really not much pressure there to actually buy a lot in this game. Although if you're looking for a nice shortcut, of course you can always purchase gold and just buy booster packs and such that way. Or even better, buy treasure chests, which are guaranteed a number of rares and ultra rares and heroics rares, which, yeah, that's kind of a hard thing to deal with. You got different rarity types. You got green commons, blues, which are uncommons, yellows, which are heroics, and red, which are, you know, ultra rares, basically. So here's what I'm talking about with alternative artwork. So the normal card doesn't look anything like this. This is actually a different artist, which unfortunately is not credited on the card, which is something I really despise about this game, and it could use a little bit of help with. I'd like to know what artists actually contributed to the cards, and there's no way at this time to kind of see that. But here's an example of the Kickstarter promo that I got, which, you know, this thing has Defender, which means it can't attack, but then it grows up into a little Drake here, or little Dragonling. Its mobility, and whenever it enters the field, it deals 5 damage to the other creature in its lane. But then this guy, the big 20/20 or 24/24 here, it gets mobility 2, and whenever it enters the field, it deals 5 damage to an opponent and each creature they control. That's just massive. It's really great. Now, what's really fun about the game here is you got your collection here that you'll notice that there's a little bit of this forging, as they call it. So we're going to go ahead and kind of click on this card here and show you what I mean here. Now, you have silver in the game, which you can actually use to buy more copies of cards. So, in order to do that, I'll just kind of click here, and boom, I've got another one of these common cards. You can also do this multi-forge thing, where you can actually forge a number of different cards if you have more than 3 copies of them. So in this case, I have a lot of cards here that I have more than 3 copies of. There's also a sharing mode if you want to kind of give cards to some of your friends as well to borrow while, you know, you are not using them, is another option, and that's what the Forge Shareable is. I don't have this turned on right now, but bam, I can set that up, and it's going to call all of these cards from my collection and give me a number of silver for them, based on the rarities. Usually commons go for 10, uncommons for 50 or 15. The rare ones go for, of course, you know, like 100 and something silver. But the point is that it's a good way of keeping your collection small, which is something that many Magic players know the, you know, pain of. So now I've got a ton of the silver coming into my bank here. And I should be able to buy a number of things from the store now. So, for example, I'm going to go ahead and buy like a booster pack here, or a legendary chest, which is more worth it to me. So, boom! Alright, I've got a silver chest now. I can go to my collection, which unfortunately is not going to show me that. You'd think that's where it would be, but actually you got to go under an inventory tab here, which is going to show you what you have in your ownership here. Now, if this is showing you what all I have as far as what's on my account, but here's the actual legendary chest here, which will guarantee at least 3 hero cards and 3 rare cards and 1 legendary. So let's go ahead and open that and see what we get. And boom jams. Okay, we've got a lot of great stuff here. Now these are commons, which is a little odd seeing that, but we did get a legendary up here, which is amazing. Let's see here. It starts weak again like the other dragon. This one, at the end of a turn, each other creature I control gets 5 health, so as long as this dragon is alive, it's going to help out. Again, like most super rares, though, this is kind of going to be what the deck is based on when you're building your meta. At this time, it's really fun to kind of make some gimmick decks and play around, just like in Hearthstone. However, if you're going online and playing random people, they mostly apply to the metas, and thankfully it keeps shifting every few months with the release of new card packs, and it allows you to kind of build some interesting combos in there from the 4 different factions and mess around with some of the linked abilities or the unlinked abilities. And each set that they've released has given some more interesting abilities, such as being able to just activate a card every turn and do things, or having a card that's culled from your deck as soon as you play it, meaning that you don't have to worry about it being in your deck anymore, and your deck is therefore more efficient. You've got things that are more likely to return to your hand after being shuffled. You know, they'll go like in the first 10 or 20 cards of the deck. There's a lot here to explore, and if you're a solid like Magic player and you understand the kind of these head-to-head elements and you're all about like a momentum-driven game, this is definitely something to check out. I highly love this game. I've had a lot of fun playing it, and yeah, I've had really good access to get into it from the Kickstarter. The deals that they have every few weeks or months are really quite generous for them, and is a good way of getting you more cards for your digital collection here. And being able to share cards with other people is just really great too. Not to mention, there's always somebody playing, and if not, there's always a computer of varying difficulty levels. And you can even play with friends and challenge them online, so you got that kind of asynchronous play in there as well. Unfortunately, every time they do a major update, they kill the async game that's currently in progress, so you're going to want to make sure that you kind of get through your games relatively quickly, or else you're just going to end up as a stalemate. So that is SolForge. Thank you so much for watching another Cards and Cardboard digital review. We hope you enjoyed this video. Next week I'm going to kind of take a look at some more digital games, maybe. Let me know in the comments section what you think about these. And again, as always, like, comment, subscribe. Comment is definitely the thing I want the most. I really don't care about any sort of income for this. I do this all out of my own pocket, so I might set up a tip jar at some time, but I'm not going to ask for money. And I know that sounds really counterintuitive, but that's the truth of it. I do this as a hobby, and I want to present as many games as I can and let you guys know what's out there and see if you're interested in playing. So let me know if you're playing. Maybe we'll face you sometime and we'll fight. But at this time, thank you so much for watching. Have a good night.